Brand new video, and today we got a brand new discussion that I want to talk about today, and it's actually Boababoon related. From the video that I talked about this yesterday, this is going to be a follow-up from yesterday's video, where we just simply just talk about the effect and how good it is. It's a pretty good card, but I kind of want to discuss its implications in certain decks, particularly in Metaphos primarily. And we're going to discuss, and I have a handy-dandy hypergeometric calculator to fully discuss what we are looking for. So, just to give you a brief overview of what this geometric calculator does, it basically gives you the ratio of any given card in your deck, based on how successful your sample size is. So, for example, let's say that since our population size, let's say our population size is 400, right? And we want a number of successes of 9 and stuff like that. Our sample size will be like 1, and then we just are like 100, and then we'll do 1 as an example, and then we'll just calculate it here from here on out. So it'll be like 92%. It's gonna be calculating this part down here. So this is like your deck size. This is the number of cards, theoretical cards in your deck that are this. So for example, let's say that you're trying to get I don't know, Metaphos combination in your hand or something like that. You're trying to that's actually a bad example. So let's say you're trying to get, like, I don't know, Max C in your hand or something like that. You're trying to get Max C into your hand, or just a Metaphos in general in your hand. So you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 Metaphos monsters and all of that stuff. So you just say, okay, 15 cards, and my sample size is going to be 5 because you're going to be going first, and you got a number of successes will always be 1, and you're playing it in a 41 card deck. So you're opening up a 91% chance of you opening up with a single Metaphos monster. It's a basic general term it's basically just generalizations. So we're going to be discussing on how Boababoon will affect your ratios in that regard. So let's say you want to get Cleaford Scout out of your deck. So this is how we're going to be doing it. So we're going to be, obviously, it's just stake up 1. It's going to be 5. We're going to be going first. You can change the ratio up however you like. You can change it to 6 if you're going second. You know how that all goes. So it's going to be 1 Cleaford Scout. Cleaford Scout always counts as 1. It'll be 3 Boababoon, so that'll be 4. Pot of Desires, that's 2 cards a piece, so that'll be another 4 cards. So that'll be 8. And Summoner's Arts is 2 cards, so that'll be 10. And then, obviously, like throughout the game, your ratios will change throughout. So, like, with Boababoon, 10 cards. That makes 10 cards for you to search deck, because originally it would have just been 7. So we're just going to calculate this how it is right now, and we're going to see. Again, we're looking for this number right here, and it's going to be a decimal. In Metaphos with Boababoon, you have a 77% chance of opening up Cleaford Scout. Now, this is not excluding excluding things like, what if you draw into Monolith? What if you draw into another card? Like, you have a 13% chance of never seeing, or not 13, 23% chance of you never seeing Cleaford Scout in that game, and it's only for 1 game. So over time, your ratios are going to change. It's going to vary between. It's going to be a coin flip based on those 2 numbers. It's going to be a coin flip based on 77% or 23%. It's just how your draw goes, and it's kind of fruitless to calculate how to do it 100% of the time, because you're never going to get it 100%. Never going to get it 100% whatsoever. So basically what I'm trying to say is Boababoon is probably going to be played at Metaphos based on this fact, because it gives you access to Cleaford Scout. I take out MST and I take out my 2 copies of MST and Ekotama from my deck, just to basically just demonstrate how this works. So let's just try with a different card. Let's see if we can get a different card. So let's say we wanted a random Metaphos in our hand, right? So we got 15. Like I said, that's 15 cards. So plus a Boababoon, that's 18 cards. Plus 2, plus 4, so that'll be 22. And now this is going to be the tricky part, because Wolflame is level 7, I'm going to count it as 2 cards. Now, obviously, you don't count costs. You don't count Pot of Desires banishing 10 cards on the top of your deck. That's irrelevant, because you were never going to draw those cards regardless. And we're also not including other cards like, what if you draw into Gleeford Scout, obviously, Kieran, Mad Spectre, Bunpoku, Archfiend Eccentric, Maxi. What if you draw into those cards? But we're not we're going to keep our population size and number of successes relatively the same. We're just not going to change them. And we're going to do a test. Calculate. We have a 99.1% chance of opening up with a single Metaphos. Keep in mind that you're running 3 copies of each Metaphos, presumably, and you're and it's a pretty high number anyway of monsters that you're looking for. If you're looking for a specific one, obviously the number is going to be different. Like I think it's going to be slightly different if you're picking Wolflame over all of them, because he's level 7 and you can start you with Summoner's Art, and it will be and to be perfectly honest, I never really want Wolflame in my hand opening up like that. I mean, I like keeping it in the deck for some reason, because I like making my big eye and just taking your monsters and doing stuff like that. Also, you do not want to, especially in this deck, because in other decks it doesn't make that big of a difference. But in this deck, you don't want to count Metaphos Fusion as a draw, because it's not necessarily a draw. It is, but it isn't, because you're putting it back in the deck and your ratios are relatively the same. So that's basically why I didn't want to do that. So basically, Boababoon might see play after Maximum Crisis in Metaphos, depending if it's a deck still. That's also we're less than 3 weeks away from one of the most game breaking decks that we've ever seen in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, other than like Teledad or Dragon Roost and stuff like that. So it might actually completely phase out Metaphos completely, but we'll see how that goes. So anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think about this demonstration in the comment section down below. I want to know what kind of decks you can come up with to benefit with Boababoon, that you can benefit with from Boababoon. I'm open to suggestions. What do you think of this variety of Metaphos? Do you think it's competitive enough to compete with Zodiac Beasts after Maximum Crisis? Or what else do you think about it? Do you not even like this card at all? Do you think this card is terrible? Just let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. This has been Team Metamorphos, and I'll be signing out.